A miracle, I wanna be a girl. Give me a chance to see that you were made for me. I need Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe OMI crypto update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. I'll say this multiple times throughout the thing. I'm going to go through like a 45-minute blurb and then I'll answer everyone's questions. Yesterday, I happened to go for over an hour before answering anyone's questions, but a quick $2 super chat, I'll get to your question right away, and then I'll go back to my blurb. So yeah, we got a bit to go over here. Let's start off with the OMI, shall we? Because I feel like that's what a lot of people come for. I feel like Andre Jick, like come for the whatever, stay for the magic. We've had a couple of spikes up to like 3, 4, came right back down after both of them. But again, when we have $1 million in trading volume, what? Like what? I'm gonna guess MEXC, OKX, and Ascendex are the big three. MEXC had where are they coming from? All right, Gate.io and OKX are actually the winners of 210,000. Oh no, MEXC's 188, and then. Remember in that episode of Rugrats where Tommy goes to the doctor and the doctor's like, "Oh, Michael Jordan, watch out. Tommy Pickles is right behind you." Well, BitGet is right behind him at 153. And then it's actually taking away from Ascendex, which usually has like 150, 160, 170. That's only at 140,000. But that doesn't make sense. So hold on. 180, so 330, so 5, 6, 7, 8. No, okay, yeah, no, this all makes sense. This is all good. And still, despite it being more expensive over on Ethereum, so $60,000 worth of volume over on Ethereum. So I $1 million in volume. Thought I'd say that. How is it on base? Oh, there's a aerodrome on base. Okay, that has like $700 in volume. All right, so it says Uniswap on Ethereum and then Uniswap on Ethereum again. I'm guessing both are not Ethereum, and only one is that on base. I could just look at Coin, or I could look at Gecko Terminal and take a look at OMI on base, and that has 86,000 in volume over the last 24 hours, and then OMI was 58,000 over on the Ethereum. Anyway, not much has really been going on here as far as price action. It's been between like 3.1 and 3.5 for the last several days. Maybe wicking up or down at certain points, but there's nothing. I would say you'd need to move it, because again, you have in the other areas that are in the NFT and metaverse areas, which OMI is obviously going to be in. Flows up to $1.10. This hasn't been $1.10 in months. $1.11 right now, up 7.4% today. Shout out the flow. I guess before we get into this, let's go over a couple of news things here for the day. I guess we'll do MicroStrategy here. MicroStrategy has acquired another $15,400 worth of Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, worth of $15,400 Bitcoin for $1.5 billion, paying $95,976 per Bitcoin. They have 402,100 Bitcoin so far, which is heckin' ridiculous. But as far as people getting more OMI, we do have a shout out to Fanny Carbonell today that said 10 million OMI goal finally reached. Shout out to her. Love her for that. And then we had the finish on VeVe Viral's post where they said, hey, what do you think is going to be the best way to grow the VeVe app? And 60% of people said exchanges. When do we get that? I have no idea. I can't see Stacker rolling out fully right now. You're able to have a couple of licenses that are bought and sold with OMI. Most popular, I think, would be either Tokidoki or the VeVe official stuff. And I don't know if the Gold Dragon's on there. That Gold Dragon, the Lucky Gold Rosso Dragon, which is from Tokidoki, that's available. But I can't see how they don't roll out in the next couple of months. And then once they roll out, that we don't get more licenses. And then once we have that third-party utility, we're able to go in and get the maybe another exchange. Now, some exchanges might want us to have $1 million in volume a day or more, which typically we don't get. Today we got it. But that's for the bigger exchanges. So I would understand it if, let's say, we started off with a couple of small ones, say, hey, we have this third-party utility, we have a utility token, because there's a couple things they still haven't done yet. That 5.5 billion OMI was supposed to be burned from the business development wallet. That hasn't been burned. And then there was also 1 million gems that they were going to donate to the OMI to gem liquidity pool. They've since done away with that, but where is that $1 million gone? We haven't really asked them about that. None of the YouTubers, including myself, have really been vocal about that, because obviously they have a bunch of other stuff that is prioritized first. But that is something like I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, that most people would be okay with, instead of having a OMI to gem liquidity pool, because again, they're doing away with that. What would you do with the extra $1 million? Would you get more licenses? Sure. But could you use that money to get on exchanges? I would say so. I would say that that would be the best use for capital allocation, because again, not only does it bring liquidity and eyes on the token, they're also going to get users from that as well. So we're going to see what they do over there. Updates on, there was something on Flow then as well. In October, Flow blockchain achieved key milestones, including a 13% growth DeFi TVL, total valuation locked, reaching 22.42 million, driven by crescendo upgrades and EVM-based liquidity. Flow Community Rewards program launched, enabling users to earn and redeem points. This is what's also helping it as well. Masari Crypto recognized Flow as a leading consumer blockchain for its architecture and scalability. ETH Global, San Francisco, Flow gained traction with over 50 new apps developed. Jesus, man. Flow apps can now connect directly to Ledger hardware wallets, enhancing security and providing stronger protection for assets. I had an issue getting Flow on Tangem. So it was in my Coinbase for a while, and then something happened. My Coinbase had to get it out of there. But yeah, there was an issue like getting that on Tangem. I'm not sure why. But I guess now that it can be tied directly to other wallets, enhancing security and providing stronger protection for the assets. That might be also why that on the, forget what it was, I think just Dapper Labs, they didn't hold your Flow. Like I think a couple of months ago, they're like, you have to get your Flow off by a certain date. Anyway, Flow apps can now connect, or I've just read that. Flow blockchain made a record-breaking impact at ETH Global Bangkok with 99 applications built on its platform, surpassing previous hackathon records. The event highlighted Flow's focus on gaming, awarding projects like DAO Genie for governance solutions and LootGo and MetaLoot for innovative gaming apps. These names are incredible. These names are hysterical. I love that. In other news today, you are now able to, Coinbase and Apple Pay have Fusion Hod, and they have said, you know what, Apple Pay, you have it, we're going to let you buy crypto with it, which I thought was really cool. Coinbase had announced, we're excited to announce the launch of Apple Pay for fiat to crypto purchases via Coinbase on-ramp. And of course, everybody is like, yo, list OMI, get that bread. And I mean, again, if we're going to go out and get on exchanges, and certain exchanges might want you to have $1 million in volume before you get on there, it would make sense that you would have other smaller exchanges first and then go on there. And again, could it be the opposite? Could they go with the big guns first? Coinbase, Binance, or anything in the US would be phenomenal. But again, like we're not going to see the benefits of Apple to crypto via Coinbase if we're not on Coinbase. So I wouldn't really expect much of that yet. VeVe Viral goes and says, it works just like buying gems does on VeVe Official. Easy, mass friendly. I have an idea. List OMI on Coinbase so that it can be easy and mass friendly. Let's wave goodbye to the lengthy processes at Ecomi, at David Yu, who is still CEO of Ecomi. But I think if Ben wants to go in and grow the app, one of the best ways to do that is to get on exchanges, hype the token. But again, that's just my opinion. You know, I've been wrong before. Now let's go back to, all right, there was the Flow. Let's see what else we're going on here in the rest of my bags. Let's see what Devi's at. Ooh, Devi's down 10% to 34 cents. Let's see, Alluvium, that's up a little bit to 61.78, pretty legit. What else we got here? And then we went over OMI. Let's do Definity real quick, and that is up 1%. It's pretty flat on the day. At 3.9 cents. So Definity does sponsor the channel. Shout out to them. Love them. They do have a couple of meetings this week. We still don't know. Well, I'll tell you this. November was a record month for them. As far as their DMA length, as far as giving on-ramp and off-ramp opportunities to institutions. And again, institutions as Robinhood defines them, are like people with like 10 million in assets under management that are trading. It's ridiculous. Definity only defines institutions as people that have 10 billion in assets under management or more. So those types of institutions, again, it was the best month ever for them. I can't go over any specific details, but they do have a couple of meetings this week that they are, it's going to go pretty well. And that was just on the Definity side. We don't know what type of numbers were done on the crypto gaming repo, meaning like both online casinos and in-person casinos are exchanging or swapping Bitcoin for casino gaming chips. We don't know that yet. But that's still one of my favorite ones. It has under a $7 million market cap, fully diluted. In my opinion, is one of the craziest undervalued things, but obviously not financial advice. What do we have on here? VeVe whales go nuts. I mean, crypto talk, NFT waves. Yeah, let's take a look at some of the things here. So be advised that the Punisher bounties are still out there. You have a $1,000 bounty on the 1974 common, a $2,000 bounty on the 1974 uncommon, and a $3,000 bounty on the 1974 rare. So far, let's go over the numbers real quick. Let's see. Oh shoot, VeVe signed me out. I got to sign back in. I'm gonna say it was like between $130,000 and $140,000. So let's see what we have here. We'll go in here. Obviously, we're going to take away 90 from the from what was originally available. So instead of 68.60, it'll be 67.70. We subtract what is left at 22.18 times 20. So it was $91,000 just on the common. And then we're going to go to the uncommon. Now the uncommon is obviously only $7 to go in and craft and burn and mint. So I hate these loading times for them. Okay, there we go. This one out of 4410. So remember, we had that 91,000. So 4410, you subtract that 1740 times by 7. So what do we have plus 91,040? So it's 109,000 in between those. And then the Punisher here, the rare. Let's go. Always. Okay. 2410 minus, oh wow, these are almost sold out. Wow, 2410 minus 3. Okay, hold on. 910. So 2410 minus 382. Another 7 plus 109. I think it was 750. So all right, so 123,000 grossed in the last couple of days. I was a little off. I was estimating between 130, 140, but 123,000. I'm very surprised that there's only 382 of these remaining. That's a lot. I mean, that's not a lot. That's a lot that was sold from that market. I was not expecting it to do that well, but it was. People have done it that well. This is a good couple of days for them. And then obviously we have the crafting tomorrow. That's going to be a $10 crafting instead of the $7, and then $10 crafting obviously for the secret rare. So these will both mint out, the ultra rare and the secret rare. I have been having a couple of issues going in and get. So there's a group on Facebook called, what the heck is it called? A group where we all ask each other ridiculously personal questions. I said, hey, I'm a YouTuber specialized in crypto and NFTs. Ask me anything. And first off, I'm going to say 20% of the comments is just like, ew, no, what's it like to scam people? What's it like to know that nobody will ever love you? What's like, so there's a 20% major animosity towards anything related to crypto or NFTs. Then there's like 5%, mostly women, but like 5 to 10% of people that are just like, yeah, give me money. But then you have like some curiousness of it. Then you have some people that I'd say the other half are, at least 50% are just like curious, like how do you discern what is good, what's bad, and obviously, I can't give financial advice, but it is just me saying like, well, you're an early stage investor, buy low, sell high if you want to be super. But there's hundreds of comments on here, but that was just a fun experiment. And one of the people that said, listen, I don't really mess with NFTs, I would never really do that, but I showed a picture of my Punisher in AR, and they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do all this with it, because you had a lot of those arguments that are just like, okay, I can just screenshot it. What now? I was like, okay, you can screenshot, like, I showed someone in like a previous post, like my vault, like what somebody asked, like, what are your assets worth? I was like, well, my vault says my digital assets were like 25K, but obviously I told him like I had some super special things where the vault wasn't really accurate, which obviously goes to like the VeVe Gold logos, the mint numbers, the number 41s, the Luke Skywalker number 43s, and all that. And then from that, someone's just like, I can just, okay, I showed like my Punisher and like the Nounish NFT I had, and that was, it was just, it looked like a JPEG, like a 2D JPEG. Someone's like, I screenshot it, now what? And then I showed that photo of it in AR. I was like, you can't do that, with your screenshot. And they're like, oh. So again, I'd say half the people at least have zero interest to negative interest, but I would say almost half of that are like super far negative, super think everything's like a rug. But I mean, fair point. A lot of things have rugged, and there's a couple of people that have said, "Oh, I knew someone that went bankrupt because of NFTs and crypto," and I'm not going to go and tell them, be like, "Your friend's a freaking idiot," but it's like, oh, dude, we've all kind of know those stories. Like as many like success stories as we hear, we also hear those stories where it just ruins people. Forget where I was going with this. Oh yeah, so it was really cool to see people say like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." Like the people that were in the middle that like, I have no idea what this is. Can you tell me about it? And then I could show them just the stuff in AR. They're like, "This is not what I thought it was." And for the most part, they're right. Like most NFTs, like you can't do that with, but just that AR capability from this new app. I took the picture today, so it was from the new app. They were pretty. Some of them were pretty impressed. Some of them are just like, they didn't really care for the NFTs; they just cared about the crypto. But this was really cool. But unfortunately, there was a lot of those things. A lot of the explanations I had to give, like, listen, you could pick a project that has revenue, it has IP, it has hype, it has like all these like pumpamentals. And then I didn't even go into the Nike stuff today with them on Facebook, but I was just like, you could do all of this, and you could not necessarily get rugged, but you can still have mismanagement of funds. You could just have people that are just, I don't know how much those RFTK Nike things were. Let's go to that right now. Where am I? Where'd it go? The RTFKT, 387,000 followers over on X. Again, a lot of hype. Nike involved there. Had avatar stuff. It seemed from the comments that they've raised well into the 9 figures. I don't know what they spend it on. It's like Kamala Harris, like raising 1.5 billion, blowing through it in X amount of months, and then just, what do you have to show for it? So RTFTK, they posted like an explanation. It's a new chapter. Ben Rose said, sad to read this today. Obviously, him and David share that mindset of just, you hate to see that because you want the entire hobby to grow, and if someone like Nike and these things are failing, it's not good for the hobby. Now, granted, on the opposite end of that, the free market is a beautiful, beautiful jungle, and stuff like CryptoPunks and stuff like Bored Apes and Mutant Apes and Pudgy Penguins and a lot of stuff on VeVe has been kind of running. And again, like the cream rises to the top. But anyway, VeVe goes and posts underneath their status saying, the VeVe official team and our entire community would like to extend our deepest thanks to the incredible and visionary team at RTFKT for what you have done. What you have done. You have been leaders and pioneers in digital culture and collecting, helping to create and shape the future of this ever-growing and evolving space. We're sad to see you go. VeVe is much nicer than I am. 100% sad to see them go. It does suck. Like, I've seen businesses fly. I've seen them crash. It does suck to see, just in general, like people, at the end of the day, they're fighting for their dreams. They're trying to do the best that they can. But just unfortunately, a lot of these other companies, whether it's Recur, whether it's just the capital allocation is just not good. And yes, we have learned from them. There's a couple of things that well, now we know what not to do, and there's some things that they did splendidly. But Ben Rose goes off and says, or well, I told you already. He just said that, we're sad to see you go. It's sad to read this, but the actual message here, I can freaking find it again. Since our inception, RTFKT has been at the forefront of digital culture, pioneering the fusion of sneaker culture, gaming, digital fashion, and Web3 technology. Together, we've built something revolutionary, a community where traditional boundaries between physical and digital creativity dissolved, where artists and collectors redefined what the future could be. Today, we're announcing the plan to wind down from RTKFT operations. Looking back, we're incredibly proud of everything we've achieved together, from launching revolutionary projects like Clone X with Takashi Murakami, to forging the first ever digital sneakers that became physical products, to empowering countless 3D artists and digital creators who found their voices through our platform. You, our community, have been the driving force behind every innovation. To honor and preserve this pioneering legacy, we'll be launching an updated website that showcases the groundbreaking work that defined the RTKFT journey. While we expect our Web3 services will be winding down by the end of January 2025, the spirit of innovation that RTKFT represents will live on through the countless creators and projects it has inspired. Before this transition, we're unveiling one more innovation this December, the MNLTH Monolith X feature, the Blade Drop, a testament to our commitment to pushing boundaries and merging worlds. To our community of visionaries, artists, and believers, thank you. You didn't just witness the future of creativity, you helped shape it. That's the true RTFKT legacy, showing the world that when you dare to imagine differently, you can transform culture itself. The revolution we started will live on through every creator we've inspired. RTFKT isn't ending, becoming what it was always meant to be, an artifact of cultural revolution. So I'm not going to lie, that was the first time I had read that. Well, the new chapter is this reminds me of that CNN thing where they had gone on and they had said, okay, we're going to where CNN said we're doing these NFT drops, and then they rugged. Now, obviously, this is not that. It just reminds me of that. This is something different where, hey, they tried, and I don't know what happened to the funds. I don't know where they went. A lot of people are saying like, hey, put the resale value to zero, renounce the contracts, let's do a community takeover. So there's a big community there. I don't know what they do, what their next step is. There's a lot of speculation saying like, okay, well, Nike's really just going to focus on physical stuff now. They're not going to go in and they're not going to say focus on digital anymore. I do not think that's the case. You wind the clock back a couple of years ago from when Recur had that ending thing. David D was on the podcast like a couple weeks later, maybe a couple months later. I said, David, how do you go in and how do you convince some of these licensors that gave their all with Recur? Recur raised like 50, however much, tens of millions of dollars, maybe again into that 9 figures as well. They had the IP, they had Gary Vee, they had Winklevoss twins, they had all this hype, and then it failed. How do you go in and convince these licensors that Web3 is still a good place to be able to make money? It's still a good place for attention when, their first iteration failed. And they said, we're already working on it. Now, I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if there's like a cooling off period. If anyone remembers back in like the late 2010s, Netflix had these amazing Marvel shows. They had Daredevil, they had Punisher, they had Jessica Jones. They just had these incredible shows. And then after Disney did the whole buyout of Marvel, they had what's called a cooling off period, where Disney could make all the shows they wanted with all the characters they wanted, but they needed like that 2-year cooling off period. So I don't know if this is something that David, you had ran into when getting some of those licensors from Recur. Again, he was in talks with them. Who knows if he ever got them? I would love to see any type of what are they? They had Nickelodeon. Most specifically, the big ones were I think Hey Arnold and Rugrats, which would do numbers. You ever see those like TikToks and be like, this is good, but this would have done numbers on Vine. We have a couple of those. Like there was the 2D again, one of the reasons why they failed, they did not take care of that IP over at Recur. They were not the people that, and any fan from the 90s would have just be like, hey, you can't do this. This is wrong. Do X, didn't even need utility. Just make it good. But the 3D digital collectibles of those guys would do numbers on VeVe. And then outside of that, again, like we shared Star Trek, sure. I don't even know if they did anything, dropped anything with Star Trek. And then they had Hello Kitty, which I think some of those actually still might have like a $50 floor, give or take, because there's, they're out there, they had self-custody, cool, but Hello Kitty, again, do numbers on VeVe. So I don't know if, because this happened, now Nike is just never again going to go into web. Again, they have the dot swoosh, so they're still out there with other stuff. I'm really curious to what happened. Like, what happened to all the funds that they raised? Like, where did that go? And what could another more efficient company like VeVe do with much less capital allocation? RTFKT, that's the company that Nike was working with through their digital shoes and stuff. But what could VeVe do with that IP? What could they do? I mean, did they ever do any Air Jordans? Were Air Jordans ever a thing on either dot swoosh or on the RTFKT? If they were not, and you can get something like that over on here, again, that would do numbers. I mean, Michael Jordan, what does he sell? 60 million pairs of shoes every year. And he hasn't played basketball in 20-something years. He retired like 3 times. That would be insane. Anyway, even if they were to reach out, even if they were to go and talk about something, I don't think that deal would come together for a long time. Maybe end of like 2025, just because there's a lot of red tape when you get a lot of these companies that are so big. Anywho, let's do, where was I going here? So VeVe whales go nuts. What was I talking? Oh yeah, so I was talking about the other news from the bounty reminder from Punisher. I got all into the Facebook stuff. But again, that's bringing that full circle. You could have invested in that thinking, okay, it's Nike. They're worth billions. Like, this isn't going to go anywhere, and then it does. So I never invested anything with them. I never invested anything with Recur. Never invested. I don't think Hero is like the only other thing where I actually put money into. So that went. You stray away from VeVe, you get wrecked. There's a couple of other meme. Should I go over meme coins? Right. I'll go over meme coins a little bit tomorrow, doing more of that narrative. So show me anything that you want, and maybe even tonight if it happens. The only really meme coin that I'm into right meow, just again to cat, just because I work for them. I didn't even really go over meme coins on the Facebook thing, just because like people knew Sheeb, they knew Doge, and does that still have room to run? Absolutely. We're still very early in this bull market. Again, in that thing on Facebook, a group where we ask each other ridiculously personal questions. That's been like the only like crypto or NFT question in there, and that's a pretty fun group. There's 122,000 like members in there, so hopefully that gets a little more traction as the days go on. And I got some conversations, but I'm cooked over there. VeVe dropping a video while I'm while I'm working here. What is the video? Collectors at Heart, Season 2, Episode 1 in Paris. All right, let's go give that a like, and we'll say woo. Oh, in Paris, are they gonna interview Fanny Carbonell? Because I guess she's not in Paris. She lives in Belgium now. I don't want to dox her. I didn't mean to dox. Oh, they had other stuff. Okay, that's cool. David Yu over at the end. That's pretty dope. Anyway, now that there's a couple hundred people here, let's go and ask y'all something that I didn't even go over the thumbnail yet. Y'all can just smash that like button. It's a free way to help support the channel. Again, I'll be talking for like another 15-20 minutes, maybe longer, and then I'll get to everyone's questions. However, if you just say I don't have time for that, give me $2 super chat, I'll answer your question right away, and then I'll go back to my blurb. But yeah, let's go over the rest of the why. Yesterday, Gary O at 1234CA3 over on X had said, "Hey, Randy, there's this." He didn't even say, "Hey, Randy." It's just like, "Hey, the secret rare of the Spider-Boy number 12 comic was like $999, And then I go and look, like Spider-Boy number 12. Like I knew the first one, that one insane. Like the physical comic went insane, and then the digital one went insane because the new ones that you get every Wednesday from VeVe, they're only 1,000 mints. And some of them, the stuff that was done like by Peach Momoko, the new X-Men stuff, the Spider-Boy stuff, Aliens vs. Avengers number 1, so heckin' good. That is one of the best modern comics. I think probably the best modern comic that I've read in the last 10 years. It's so 5 years. So good. And speaking of which, Aliens vs. Avengers number 2, it was still really good. It was not as good as number 1. Jonathan Hickman's just a god. It was still really good. Not as good as the first one. Definitely worth the read. I think they're like $4 or $3 for the uncommon. If you want to grab that, go get it. I think there's actually still some in the store, but in the store they're like $11. I don't know if that's really worth it. I will be going over that on Emojis having a space on Thursday. Dude, Thursday, I'm not going to sleep on like Wednesday night into Friday morning. Emoji has a comic show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I actually had a meeting. They're like, Randy, are you available at like 7:30 p.m.? I was like, oh my God, listen, I have this comic show I have to do. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but I had to move it around the Emoji comic show. Anyway, I'll be going and talking about that. But back to Spider-Boy number 12, I go and I look on VeVe Comics. I was like, oh, okay, that maybe the reason the secret rare was 999 gems is because like 50 had sold and maybe there was only one of the secret rares out there. But then I saw it was sold out. I was like, okay, for a VeVe Comics comic book to come out, and it came out in like late October, to be sold out, they usually don't do that. They usually sell, however much they sell, maybe a couple hundred, but they almost never sell out. The exceptions being, again, Spider-Boy number 1. You have stuff from Peach Momoko, the Aliens vs. Avengers number 1, and then Spider-Boy number 12. Like, okay, this is interesting. Why? And then I see that recent status quo shakeup in Spider-Boy's life. It's like Spider-Girl, or first full appearance of Spider-Girl. And then I was like, okay, let me go to Stacker and see like how these are distributed. Whoever has the B83B, they have 72 ultra rare. They have 127 rare. They have 292 common. They have 168 uncommon, and they have 26 secret rare. So I was like, okay, whoever is stacking this clearly loves it for whatever reason. Maybe it's that girl. Maybe that's the reason. And that's going to bring me to another point called old versus new. But I degened. I saw somebody listed a Spider-Boy number 12 secret rare, or number 12 secret rare for 199, and I bought it. I was like, you know what? Clearly this one person has 26 of them. One person has hundreds, multiple hundreds of these that they bought. It just, they know something that I don't. I called Sleepin about it, or I texted Sleepin. I was like, "You awake?" But it was like 1 in the morning. I was like, or maybe it was like 3 in the morning, and it would have been like 12 for him, because my hours are crazy. And he finally got back to me today. But that brings me to my other point of old versus new, and what's the better investment? I mean, everyone knows who Darth Vader is. Like most people in the world know who Darth Vader is. So you have that old. And then for the new one, I guess that's a bad example because there's not really a new character that's like super popular, and who do you get? I guess another one would be Spider-Man, like Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Most people in the world know Spider-Man and Peter Parker, but ask anyone under the age of 20, like, who's Spider-Man, and their answer could very well be Miles Morales. I mean, you've had the Across the Spider-Verse movies are excellent. Now, there's multiple Spider-Man. I don't think anyone's going to say like, oh, Miguel O'Hara, 2099. That's why, like, I don't think there are probably certain people that say like, oh, that's my favorite version of Spider-Man. Maybe because they're half Mexican, half Irish. Maybe they see a brown Spider-Man. Whatever. A little older, better looking, got a little Chavez in him. But there are, I would say most people, like Spidey and his friends, or Spidey's amazing friends, on like kids Disney Channel Plus, whatever it is. By the way, speaking of it, I'll get back to this in a second. Did y'all know that in January 2025, Disney Channel will stop airing for good after 27 years of they're stop airing their stuff? Thought that was wild. Anyway, in the Disney Kids thing that they have, you have like Spidey and His Amazing Friends. So it is Peter Parker Spider-Man, but then they have Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider or Spider-Woman, whatever, or Stacy Spider-Gwen. And then they also have, Miles Morales Spider-Man as well. So they do have that. From what I understand, it's a very good show. Never really saw it. That's kind of an old versus new. Who do you get? I mean, right now on VeVe, granted, there's some scarcity issues here. There's a little bit of strife about that. But you have Miles Morales Spider Secret Rare that is worth like triple of what the Peter Parker Secret Rare Spider-Man is. I think that's like 3,500. Maybe it's 4K, and maybe it's only like double, but it's like 2 to 3x. And Peter Parker Spider-Man has like 60 something years of history. Miles Morales Spider-Man has like 10 years of history. It's not a lot. Like, it's the character's obviously incredible, and anything Spider-Man is awesome. But yeah, what do you get? Old versus new. So what has the better ROI? And it's going to be contingent on what medium you're collecting in. Like, if it's physical, okay, Pokemon, the older, the rarer, the minter, the better. That S. and Pratt-ism. But the newer stuff, like, you could have some things that are new and you can flip it right away. But typically, in order to make something like a collectible, for it to actually like go through its hype phase, peters out, and then it becomes like nostalgic. Depending on what you're talking about, like Magic the Gathering, that stuff takes like 10 years. It took like 10 years before, some of the stuff started to rise. And then for Pokemon, it's a little bit of a different story. For Pokemon, it took like 6-7 years. The cards came out in like 90, 97, 98, that first edition from WotC, the Wizards of the Coast. And then it maybe got a little bit of a scarcity issue when you go towards like 2003, 2004, when Wizards of the Coast stopped printing them. And then they went to whoever they went to, I forget. And then it's like, okay, well, why is that? Is it just because they changed printers? No, it's because they stopped printing first edition. You have first edition from base set, Fossil, Jungle. Base set 2 had it was completely different, and the other ones with the reverse holos, I forget what they're called. Those are completely different. But then you had Rocket Edition. Then you had Gym Challenge. Then you had Gym Heroes. Then you had Neo Rev, Neo Destiny. It ended with Neo Destiny, and that was the last time we had the first edition mark. And then the first editions ended, and so that's why I think you had some of the first ones kind of get a pump. But listen, guys, it was not always sexy to be a Pokemon master. It was not always cool. That, like, how Adam Sandler says, "You're not cool unless you pee your pants." In the not Big Daddy, Waterboy, no, forget the name. The other Happy Madison, Billy Madison movie. You weren't cool in 2005 if you were repping Pokemon gear. Like, you just weren't. I mean, if you had a tattoo, if you were like 16, you were cool because it's badass. But you were not cool if you were repping Pokemon gear. You had to like come out of the nerd closet and say, like, you had to come out of that nerd closet and be like, guys, I'm a Pokemon fan. And like, your family would not respect you. Some of your friends would be like, like, whatever. But that's what it was. I forget where I was going with this. I just go off on these tangents sometimes. I'm so sorry. NFT waves. Yeah, so that's what I mean, the old versus new. It a lot of times takes some time for things to have their little moment in the sun, peter out for 6 to plus years, and then go back up. And like, even for something like Magic, the creator of Magic, that's one of the greatest minds ever in history. It's hard to believe that came from one person. That's not the only card game that person had created. They created a bunch of others that nobody knows about, because to get something to stick is impossibly hard. And VeVe has done these like 4 impossibly hard things that nobody else can seem to manage to do, but they can do it. Now, granted, you had the Trinity, Al Kahn, David Yu, and Dan Crothers. And now you have obviously a little bit of help from Ben Rose over here while Dave and Dan doing their thing. you split the chores, as it were. And again, bringing in someone who's got this little bit of younger side, that's more in tune to crypto, that's more in tune to these things, that is a spectacular growing companies. We have VeVe, but I feel like people really forget that most stuff on VeVe is like 2 years old, 3 years old. There's some stuff that's now 4 years old. Going back to like the Todd Batman, but we're still super early. Like and I get it. A lot of these things, they are collectible. They are very scarce. Some of these are on like bot accounts that are never to be seen again. But we have like 12,000 monthly active users. That's nothing. When this affiliate marketing program rolls out, I maybe late Q1, maybe early Q2, that's something that is going to be a game changer, and nothing will be the same. I forget where that's from. No, Tony Stark, Iron Man 3 is like, nothing's been the same since New York. Talking about the Avengers. Nothing's going to be the same after that, in the best way. So I think that, I don't want to say that it won't matter, but if you have like a secret, and again, this is not for the long term. What I showed you, my Spider Boy number 12, like secret rare, that is not for the long term. That is 100% to flip. I even put it out there like today for like 700. See if that dude that has 26 secret rares takes it, because it was the cheapest at the time. That will 100% be sold for profit in the next couple of months. Whereas, and people would buy that, and maybe nobody's really going to know who Spider Girl is. I think Bailey Briggs is her name. It's not long enough for it to be super popular, but it's scarce enough that it could be. So you have this rarity and scarcity issue, or again, it's not only rare because there's only 40 of those, and you could say that for any of the new VeVe comics that have 1,000 mints. But it's scarce because there's only 2 on there right now. There might be 3, there might be 4. I haven't checked in a couple hours. But as people come in, it's not going to matter. I mean, you have, I think for, was it Hulk 181? Wolverine versus Hulk. You have somebody like Wes, bless his heart, that has like 130 of those, and I think they're like $15. 6,000 of those, like in general, I think that the commons, they are not. What was the MC1 last time with like 30,000 commons? With like $700? Now, am I here to say that, listen, because it is 1/5 as scarce, it's going to be 5 times the price, and you're going to have a $3,500 price for the common Hulk 181? No, not at all. I'm not saying that. But can it go from $100? Can it go from $15 to $150? Absolutely. It is just not enough. Just not enough supply, especially when there are people out there like Wes that have like 130 of those. For the Aliens versus Avengers, and again, that's old versus like the new. The Aliens versus Avengers, yeah, it might only have 400 or like 600, whatever common. So it's like 1/10 of the price, but it's just such a new comic. It's not like a first appearance of anything. Well, I guess the Aliens. Well, I don't even think that's first appearance. Maybe that's first appearance on like a Marvel comic on the blockchain. Sure, I don't think that's going to mean much or mean anything to them. But that type of thing is going to sell because it's scarce, not because of the popularity of the first appearance. Whatever. So again, just a little food for thought. I'm not saying one's better for the other, but there's multiple ways to eat a Reese's. There's multiple ways to play pocket tens. There's multiple ways to be able to make money and play this over here. Damn, somebody bought $2,000 worth of Definity right now. Let's see what we got here. Yep. They bought 2K worth, and this price is about 4 cents. So it hasn't really changed much. Whales go by. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Crappy stuff over here. There's Definity. Okay. Mudo Health says, how do I buy DNA? Shout out to Mudo for sponsoring the channel. They go and say, you buy DNA tokens at app.mudohub.com using ETH, USDT, or BNB. Explore features like DNA analysis and cognitive tools to elevate your health. Don't forget to check, out the founder package for exclusive epigenetic insights and benefits. Plus, refer friends and earn rewards with our referral program. With the TGE around the corner, the claim button will soon go live for easy token access. Use code Chavez. And then, please, if you go and do that. But join us in changing healthcare as we know it today. #DeSci. Some other stuff here. MicroStrategy, I went over that. They acquired another 15,400 Bitcoin, which is nuts. Mara proposes 700 million convertible senior note offering to buy more Bitcoin. They're all taking the Michael Saylor strategy. Eurobacked stablecoins trade volumes have surged tenfold over the past month, from 5 million daily in October to a yearly high of more than 70 million in early November. Jesus, man. Went over my collectibles. I could have the contact. Oh, nope, can't go over that. Jesse.base.eth, that happens to have 167,000 followers over on X, says 2 billion in 24-hour volume on Base for the first time ever. And you know what else is on Base? OMI. Gotta love that. Let's get that bread, OMI. I think as we go on more exchanges, hopefully in Q1 next year, we get one or two, even if they're small. As long as they're on Base, it's cool. Oh my God, is that how much they rose? There's no way. There's no way. There's somebody, I won't, I don't even know if it's public, but somebody has the number 36 Punisher uncommon and is like, I'm gonna burn it. Just sell it, please don't burn it. Why would you burn it? But whatever. Pete on chain. Okay, so you have poet.base.eth, 92,000 followers, saying, Coinbase just made it super easy to go on chain by adding Apple Pay for fiat to crypto businesses. Again, I went over this before, but crazy fast onboarding, dollars to on chain in seconds. Big win for builders. Apps on Base can onboard users without long KYC processes or jumping in between apps. This would be really good for OMI if we were on Coinbase. I would not expect that for a while. Ecosystem boost, more use. But again, as the Base chain grows, OMI's just going to get more eyes on it. Oh, what else is on Base? That's how I found OMI in the first place. Like, okay, let me find a token on Go Chain that has a super large supply and a super small market. Oh, what is this OMI? People are just going to look for other stuff on Base, whether it be meme coins or be legit projects. There's going to be people on it, and more eyes, the better. B-Whales go nuts. Okay, so you have Eno, ENO, that bought 139 collectibles this week. Jayco bought 224 collectibles, and Expert44 bought 434 collectibles. You now need 1,649 collectibles in order to be in the top 500. Bezojman bought two collectibles, along with Dr. Fuse, who also bought two as well. Mr. Rolex bought 82. Stefano 8 bought 66. VeVe bought 79. And then let's see some of the that didn't make that list. Scary Sea Monster bought 131. RH4CO9 bought 116. Thomas J. Kaz bought 130. Was Elemental 88. Detective Kun bought 84. Just a bunch of people buying dozens, if not hundreds, of NFTs. Make more money. Nope, not going to do that. I already shouted out Fanny. Sleeping Comics. Sorry, hydration there. Sleeping Comics says, here's my 2 cents on the VeVe official mobile app. The app does too much and thus feels inefficient. Because I'm not saying we need 5 apps, but maybe a way to customize. Example, an experienced user wants to view the prices of specific collectibles ASAP. A new user wants to see the new drops and maybe an explanation of the drop mechanics. The app is a new customer onboarding system. It's a store with complex systems like crafts, blind boxes, etc. A marketplace with real-time pricing, auctions, mint searching, etc. It's an AR camera, and soon VeVeverse. And it's also an app to manage and view your location. So again, Sleeping's not saying that we need 5 apps. We already have Stacker. We already have VeVe.comics.me. We already have the VeVe app, the VeVe app reader. There's already a ton of stuff that we have. And not everybody is going to be into the app.vv.comics. Not everyone's going to be the app.vv.me. Not everyone's going to be on Stacker, although I'd like them to be. I mean, there's just more than, I feel like we have enough already. But again, when someone like Sleeping comments, you really have to listen. He's just so incredibly intelligent. No homo, a little homo. How much did you? So people are asking, how much did you pay for your RTFKT or RTFKT. This guy named Hosing.eth says paid 6 ETH versus 3 mints. I don't know what they're going to do with that after. Also, Ben Rose had posted one of those things that it looks like you can get from like a Dave & Buster's or Jillian's back in the day. You get enough tickets, pay like 25 cents for these or 25 tickets for one of those. So far in the last 2 weeks, Ben Rose has teased the banana, rubber duck, and teeth. The banana, I've made an entire video on. First VeVe video I made in forever that wasn't a live stream. The duck, yeah, most likely it was like a Bert and Ernie type of thing with rubber ducky, you're the one. Could have been a Harry Potter thing. What are the implications of a rubber duck? From Arthur Weasley. It could have been the Phil and Lil, like, it's the Clint of the Duck. That thing. It could have been like a Psyduck for Pokemon. I have zero idea what this means. I don't know. It's the devs after releasing the app this week. I have no idea what this means. Is this a Sesame Street thing? Is this a dentist thing? I don't know. It kind of reminds me of SpongeBob. Remember when he like shaved like half of his head and his brain was sticking out? Your guess is as good as mine, because my guess is it's not a good guess here. Stores in New York City are now embracing crypto payments. 6 donuts now accepting crypto in New York City. Thought that was interesting. Some adults. Okay, and yeah, I've been talking for 51 minutes, and if I missed anything, please go in and tell me. We're gonna get to the comments. Vladimir Columbus says, Randy, when another OMI is my homie stream? That's gonna be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always, gotta love him. Omar Saad says, good evening, Omar. Says, hey Randy, Spider-Boy 11 is first appearance of Spider-Girl and sold out physical in stores. Spider-Boy 12 is first appearance of Spider-Girl's costume, and 13 is the origin story. Oh, okay. I wonder if Spider-Girl, hold on here. Or I'm sorry, Spider-Boy number 11. Oh god, Spider as a boy number 11. Search that. And okay, well, Spider-Boy number 11, apparently nobody, because there's 840 still in the store. But when so 12 is going to be the one because it has the costume in it. There's 0 in the store, only 19 in the market. So this would be like the full first appearance with that. Oh, and hey, look at me, the floor, 7 hundo. So if anybody has one and wants to undercut me, but at like 6 hundo, you can. Or if somebody wants to go and buy that'd be how awesome. I would do some fun stuff over here. Yeah, the uncommon is the cheapest. The 11 floor, the floor is like $11. That's just is bananas. It's crazy. You're on a rocket to the moon. That was like a Regis Philbin like wannabe on Hey Arnold, where Stinky Peterson is the new spokesperson for Yahoo Soda, where he just goes, Yahoo Soda, just drink it. And then he's on like a Regis and Kathy Lee. I think that's what it was back in the day before it was Regis and Kelly. But anyway, it's like, oh, you're crazy. You're on a rocket to the moon. That's just where the reference is from. Bobby Green says, help me, Lord Chavez Cat. Grant me your divine whiskered wisdom. Keep the faith alive, O fluffy overlord. For without it, I'm just a mouse in a trap of despair. Bobby, I don't know who you are, but I freaking love you. I freaking love that. I'm just going to take a picture of that. Oh my God, my camera is so dirty. Why is it so? You got it. Yeah. There we go. Oh, much better. He's better, much better. Remember on the Amanda show, they had like the people in like the video store. Like, oh, you didn't rent Star Wars. You rented Stark Wars. And it's like, this is better, much better. I feel like I'm the only person in the world that remembers that right now. Anyway, it was a real thing. Amanda show. VeVe Zombie says, yo, what up? Zombie, hey. Doctor Strange. Straight fire. Love you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Captain Kurt says, hey, Randy, good to see you. Oh, well, thank you, Captain Kurt. Good to see you. I feel like whenever I say, like, somebody says that and I say it back, I feel like Mrs. Doubtfire. I'll be like, lovely to meet you. Please, Mrs. That's I love that. That just reminds me of this one time. Elon was like teasing something, and then this one guy in the comments like, Elon, you fucker, tell us now. And like Elon says like, ha ha, ha, okay. So I love that. Ace Rig Move says, good morning, Randy. Good morning. Ace Rig Move. I hope you're doing well. Everyone, 420 viewers. Everyone comment, blaze it down below for the 420 for the reference. I don't even smoke. Gary says, FOMO is real. Go Spider. Yeah. Go Spider. Girl. Yeah, it is real. You had me FOMOing at like 3:30 in the morning. You did. Mr. MC1 underscore, he says, hi all. Oh, hello, Mr. MC1. My bay. He was on the podcast the other day, and it was great. VeVe Digital Collectibles says, huge shout out to the winners, Cornstarch64, Engwin94, and Belito underscore the VeVe. They are the past week's 3 random winners for their entries on the weekly VeVe Comics video with my collectibles. So shout out to them, to the winners. Again, those names were Cornstarchka64, and Gwyn94, and Belito underscore the VeVe. Other Spider-Man 1 is on its 4th print, and so is Ultimate Black Panther 1. The physical stores are selling out some of these Ultimate Series number 1s. Gonna crack this granite. Fucking wild. I mean, it's still out there. I mean, people are still out there buying those physical comics. So clearly, there's money to be made in everything that we can do. Jason Payne 2000, thank you so much for being a member. Saying, "What's happening, Captain?" I'm just chilling like a villain, checking my butt. Jason Payne 2000 saying, "Mr. MC1 Chichetto is doing a CGC in-house series signing. Get your physical remarket." Rome says, like number 11. Well, thank you. For Leafar says, when Ecomi to 10 cents? It's possible you get that next year. You know, that's like a 300x from here. That's a lot. It's a $30 billion market cap, give or take. I think we can do it. Be advised, $30 billion, if the blow off top happened at some point next year, OMI would definitely be in the top 100. At 30 billion, you're definitely in the top 100. Now, obviously, at this time, they'd be in like the top 15 at $30 billion market. But obviously, the market caps of all of these cryptos in the top 100 are not going to stay here. They're going to keep rising. They're going to keep going on up to the east side. Obviously, it's not financial advice. Anything can go to zero at any moment. But that's why I think VeVe would maybe be in like the top 50, or OMI would be maybe in like the top 50, give or take, if it did something like that. But definitely in the top 100, which is something that I take a look at Definity. They have 2 different things that they're doing that could both be multi-billion dollar businesses. Combine them together, and again, just put it in crypto on top of that, they could 1,000x be a $7 billion market cap by the end of next year and not be in the top 100. Figure the top 100 is like, let's say it's 10 billion. They could be, it's wild to think that they could go and they could do 1,000x from here, $7 billion market cap, and not be in the top 100. That is heckin' bananas. I mean, that's why I really like Flow. A lot of times I really don't have anything in the top 100 because it's not it's not going to get me that 100x. Like Flow now is at $1.10, even at the lowest at like 48 cents. 100x to $48 would have been nuts. Now, did it reach close to that last time? It reached like $39. Yes, it did. But last time it had quite a bit less tokens in circulation. Now, obviously, you have the all the tokens in circulation. Are all of them in circulation? Yeah. Circulating supply full. Yeah. All of them that are in. And that's something that I would say, can it do a 20 or 30x from here? I think it could. But I like Flow because it's safe. The NFT narrative hasn't really hit. It's starting to come back. It's starting to come around. Other things are building on Flow as well, just using that blockchain. But again, Flow right now was a $1.7 billion market cap. Yeah, a 20x from there is 34 billion. I think that's pretty fair for it to do because again, has all the sports, most of them, NBA Top Shots, NFL All Day, UFC Strike, other plays are building on that. I think that's pretty easy for it to do, and I think it'll probably stay ahead of OMI, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It could be a dogfight. Mr. Miranda says, "What up, Randy? Cheers." Oh, cheers, mate. Meow, meow. When only 10 cents. Yeah. I think it's possible it does it next year, or it's possible that it only reaches half that and only has $15 billion market cap. And it reaches 5 cents. I guess it could do. I guess a third of 10s would be 10 billion. Like 3.5 cents. And then maybe make the top 100. Maybe we don't. So thanks, Jason Payne, 2000. Yeah, gotta love him. Gotta love him, 100%. He's our bae. But his thoughts on only 9 holders holding 50% of Definity supply. Let's see if that's true. Let's go over to the Definity whale tracker over here, and let's see. Well, the first 2 addresses are Definity owned. The first one is Definity owned. They have 21 million Definity. Again, that is Definity owned for whatever they need, whether it's exchanges, whether it's institutions, selling, raising capital, whatever it is, they have it. Then you have the vesting wallet, 9.3 million, which is again Definity owned, but it is their vesting wallet. Then after that, if we take those away and we just do the number 3 wallet, have 5.7 million, the number 4 have 5.3, then they have number 5 at 3.33. So the math is not mathing there. I would say the top, as was there 170-ish million total supply. You take more than 10% of that, just what that's Definity owned, which again you kind of want, and that's similar. It's just not really similar. I mean, I guess it's close. Like David, Dan, and the business development wallet, it's like 90 billion there. So that's actually more top heavy for OMI. And then again, the vesting wallet 9 million. So really, you start the first person that has the biggest has 5.7 billion. Then it's 5.7 million. Then 5.3. And 3.3, so is that 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? So let's say 14.3 million. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 wallets hold like 10%. And then obviously the 5 after that hold much less. So the first 9 holds hold 50% of the supply. Is not 100% correct. You are counting the Definity owned wallet and the vesting wallet as well. Sleeping Comics says, Randy, yo, what up, Sleeping? Mass Murder says, hit that like button. Yes, of course. Sleeping, I was just talking about you. All good things. All good things. Gotta love you. Baby, gotta love me. Sorry, what was that from? The dinosaurs thing? Oh, Dog Boys. Hey, fam. Cheers, Mushroom Boy. The story behind that is I went over to his and Rita Baby's place for Thanksgiving night, and he had a leftover tray of 12 stuffed mushrooms, and I had them all. So, no apologies. How much XRP? Forgot how much XRP I bought in 2020. Glad you sat on it. Get it, dude. XRP was running today. Let's see what we got here. I think it was at like 276. It's $2.69 now, but damn, that was, yeah, that went hard. $150 billion market cap. Heckin' nuts. Steve Smith says, woof, woof. Oh, meow. Oh, woof. So it's October 2025 will be VeVe's 5-year anniversary, and Todd Batman on VeVe. With all this backdrop, it's amazing and emotional and a special achievement. Agreed 100%. I wonder what the party is going to look like. Bill Garza says, what up, fam? Got my Rob Pryor hoodie today. Oh, number 88. Yo. So first off, shout out to Bill Gardner for just being awesome. And then also, having that hoodie is amazing. Omicron says, hi, Randy. Hi, friends. Hello, Mr. Naruto. Profile picture. Flippy loves VeVe. Anyone still taking OMI on Ascendex? No, I don't think anyone is. If you are, get that OMI, I guess. I'm just, wow, 88 hoodie. So amazing. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Bill Garner says, thanks, Sanjay. Meow, meow, meow. Well, it says RTKFT got wrecked. Yeah, hardcore. Next chapter is 11. That was good. That was good. I was not expecting a joke. It was right there, but you got it. That was good. That's the Nike stuff. I suppose maybe Dr. Profit can onboard all the RTKFT on Stacker and do something special and bridge them into VeVe ecosystem broadly. We could ask. I feel like he's a little busy right now, but obviously, you never get what you don't ask for. So, you know. But we'd have to go in and talk to them about it, right? We'd have to go in and wanted to download. Oh, the but for the speakers. Okay, gotcha. Final Colon says never heard of him until today. Yeah, you have to kind of look for him, you know. Bill Garner says I've also never heard of them. Damn, there's a lot of we're educating here. Cam said, "What's up, Randy? Let's go back to the space after a year away due to life. Fortunately, I had to sell off most of my ETH and Bitcoin to survive since I wasn't working for some time. Still got my OMI though. Sucks that you had to go and sell. I hope you're back to work now. I hope you're able to invest safely. Obviously, I've never sold any of my OMI. I've only stacked a little bit here and there, but again, never sold." Travis Gregory says, "Randy, check this out. I think VeVe should link up with them. Awesome products. I just learned about this from homie Ryan Reynolds. Oh, so be advised, if you try to post links in here, YouTube deletes them automatically. I think it's not a scam or something bad, I promise. Please check it out. Again, if you want to like DM that to me somewhere, you can, but YouTube automatically deletes links. So it's just, if you post a link in here, it's just not going to go. Yeah. Now, where was I? Harley Fisher says, Happy Gilmore. What's up, Charlie Fisher? No, it was the Billy Madison. That was the one where he's like, "You not cool unless you pee your pants." Energy Dog says 0.5 interest for OMI is a split in the for all the risk you take. Yeah, I wouldn't keep anything on exchanges. I mean, that's me though, you know. That was 48,000 MC1 commons, 6,000 on. Wow, that is insane. There was 48,000 MC1 commons. Oh lordy. Oh, that is a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. Starlight says, "When Dr. Profit in an OMI homie stream." I don't know. We could probably get him on at some point. Ben will come on some point next year. He's just very, very busy right now, but he'll be on an OMI homie stream. It was great to have him on my channel, and he goes on. Guys, if you want to talk to Ben, if like, dude, host a space. Ben is in spaces like every night. Host a space, get like 30, 40 people there, and Ben might just show up. It's like Beetlejuice. Like, say his name 3 times, he just appears. Do it. Like, you don't have to have been grinding YouTube for 4 years with nothing to show for in order to do it. Like, he just appears in people's spaces sometimes. But obviously, to come on, I'd love to get him on again. There's always things to talk about, but I also recognize that he's currently VeVe's most valuable asset. He has stuff to do, and I hope he's really not burning that candle at both ends. Well, I kind of do, but I also, you can only do that for so long. Hope he's got that balance. I'd rather him have a little bit of balance now, as opposed to, and then taking more balance later, as opposed to him just working the balls off right now and then not seeing his kids. Because then at some point you'd be like, "Oh man, you know what? I haven't seen my kids for like 6 months," and that's then he might resent me. I don't know. He's a professional. I trust what he's doing. But when Dr. Profit a homie stream, I don't know. Definitely not until Stacker rolls out fully. When do they do that? I don't know. He's also busy with other stuff on top of that. But yeah, I would say next year we can get Profit on. What about sub 100s? Oh my God. All right. So I have like one of the top most wallets for Marvel sub 100s, like ever. Just I have a ton of Marvel Mighties, I have a ton of Alligator Lokis, and I have a bunch of sub 100s. Dude, sometimes you can get first appearance Marvel Mighties sub 100s for like $15. What? And it got to the point where there was so many of them that I'd spend like $1,000. Like, I can't do that. And now, don't get me wrong, I have a great freaking sets. I have great mints, but yeah, yeah. And now, and the sub 100s, it doesn't really matter if it's, let's say like John Walker from Captain America, right? That series. It's like 18,000 of him. Nobody likes that guy, right? I get it. He was in the Captain Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's gonna be in the Thunderbolts movie, so he's around, but just nobody likes him. Just like a bitch. But if you have a sub 100 of him, it doesn't matter. There's 18,000 of them, and his price will never go up. If you have a sub 100, there's gonna be a couple people that are gonna want that. Like Lady Deadpool. There might be 13,000 Lady Deadpools, and is her price ever going to go to like $100? Probably not. But would people pay $100 something for her sub 100s? I think probably. There's only 59 of those. Sub 100s are one of my favorite things. Shout out to the 500 something people that are here. Is Ben on the VeVe collectibles? I say it would be amazing. Would enjoy a return to your channel. Ben would enjoy. Okay, Ben would enjoy. Okay, yeah. All right. I thought you were Ben there, but I think you're my collectibles over there. Yeah, yeah. I love him. If he watched or listened to me and were me and Sanjay speaking yesterday, or was that 2 days ago? If you were to listen to that clip of me talking about Ben on me and when Sanjay was on the podcast like 2 days ago, it would have sounded like I was a stalker that was just like would have paid Ben to like step on my shoes, like one of those. Anyway, shout out to Asuk. Reaching level 100. I remember in Star Wars Episode 1, Qui-Gon Jinn's talking to Anakin Skywalker, says, training to become a Jedi is not an easy challenge. And even if you succeed, it's a hard life. Setting a goal to become a level 100 is not an easy challenge. And just, my God, just the time, the money, the determination, the just not worthy. That's incredible. Again, there's no easy task to do that. Just shout out, man. Asuk is such a cool dude. I miss living 20 minutes away from him. Now I live like 12 hours from him, maybe longer. But shout out to him. Love him. And Ben. Where was I? Technically, there is a Spider Woman already. She must have been a girl at some time. So, there's yeah. Was it Jessica Drew? I think her name was. So this is just another. I don't think another version of her. Just first appearance, Mary Briggs. Again, I YOLO'd before I looked. I should have looked before I YOLO'd. Maybe paying $200 for that secret rare was not a good investment, but maybe it was. Who knows? Who knows? What says we need ability to burn high edition comics. Like I would love that. I don't know if Marvel can get on board with that, but I would love that. You 536 people here as my witness I would absolutely love it if Marvel were to agree to the burning high edition comics like MC1. Love that, man. Okay. Orca Aura says, yo fam. Orca Aura, meow, meow, meow. 3GP Garage says, hey, Randy Jobs, hey, must be the money. Are you finally in on XRP XL? I'm not. But many other people are. I respect what it does. Hi, Captain Kurt. We're planning Dallas VeVe holiday party soon. Yo. Get that bread. I'd love that. Mr. MC1 420 viewers. Mr. MC1. That was 17 minutes ago when I was a different man. There's 550 viewers now. So I'm gonna do a little dance. Remember in Invader Zim where Gur is like consciousness turns into like the house, and it's like Zim is like, Gur, take me downstairs, and then Gur's like, do a little dance. It's like, no, I'm not dancing, Gur. It's like, do it. It shakes the house, and then Zim starts dancing. I don't know why I thought of that. Super Garage says, can we get Spaceballs on VeVe? To search for more money. I would love that. A buddy of mine when I was younger, his grandfather knew Mel Brooks, says he was hilarious since he was like 13. We can get yogurt. We can get Barf. The Mog. It's half man, half dog. He's his own best friend. And Barf. What's it short for? Bartholomew. That is such a great movie. It's not, but it's so good. It's a classic. That's funny. She doesn't look Jewish. Oh my God, just my God, so good. Yogurt, the King, just everything. Your Schwartz is as big as my Schwartz. Just so good. They called me filthy. Yo, market activities made me change my name. Did they? Oh, why? Tell me why ain't nothing. 5 cent, and I'm Gucci AF. We can get Gucci on here as well. Honestly, if you ask me, what do you want, Chavez? Do you want Spaceballs or do you want Gucci? Give me Spaceballs. Like, I get it. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. But also, like, Spaceballs. Flamethrower. The kids love this one. I'm more nostalgic for Spaceballs. I would rather buy something Spaceballs as opposed to, like, something Gucci. I don't know. Gucci's just not me, you know? Orca Aura says, Earth 2 version 1 soon. Essence $1 a few months thereafter. What do you think? Hope so. I hope so. Got like 42,000 essence. I really need to get more. That's worth like nothing right now. But yeah, I got 42,000 essence and I plan to get more. That's a funny line. The math is not mathing. I can't take credit for that. That's like a meme. I don't know if it started on like Tumblr, Reddit, Facebook, you know, like whatever, wherever it started. But I cannot take credit for that. VeVe Wheel says, this is how we do it. I love VeVe. He's so cool. He's so chill. Piggy! Oh, the Invader Zim reference. I loved you, Piggy. I loved you. Unless you were thinking something else. I think that Piggy came before the Invader Zim comment. But maybe not. Kanakura says, hey, Mr. MC1, would love to attend. Just for your information, we'll be in Mexico from the 14th to the 20th. Hopefully, we'll be available. Hot toy some? Hang on. Travis Gregory, it's not letting me click the link there. Oh no, it is. All right, Deadpool and Wolverine collectible slideshow. I think Dr. Stuff has this. Ooh, Lady Deadpool. Okay, so this is what he's showing me. Wolverine, Lady Deadpool, shirtless Wolverine, Kidpool, and then yeah, that was I'm sure that statues like that would do cool. But I mean, we already have like Marvel Mighty stuff, and we already have other stuff. Oh, gracias, senor. Mr. MC1 is a very charitable person. I love him. But plus a debut you won't forget. I can't believe you reached level 100. I am just, I mean, I knew that was going to come eventually for you, but oh my God, I'm so happy, so proud. I guess it'd be amazing. Ben would enjoy a return to your channel. I would love that as well. Asuk reached that triple digits level 100. Everyone give a shout out to Asuk down below. Yeah, I'd always love to have him on, but again, I know he's always busy. I know, so I'd rather not overwhelm him. Hey Randy, it's actually pronounced an artifact. Oh, really? I've been pronouncing it as and it's artifact? Okay. So also, I forget who it was, and I could be a cool dude and not mention it, but I'm gonna mention it. And he's like, hey Randy, I don't know if it's like a tick or something. I don't know if it's but every time you kind of lose your place and you go, I just like cringe. Could you not do that? So I remember like the first video after I read that comment, I was like, hey everyone. And then I just went crazy for like 30 seconds, and I'm pretty sure he's never enjoyed a video of mine since then. Jordan Reese says, hey Randy, yo, what up? It's been a while. How are you doing? How's the business? How's the fam? How's the everything? Let me know. I want to talk to you. Mr. MC1, massive congratulations to Felix from Germany and Asuk, New York City, from reaching level 100 prestige tier 1 in the last couple of days. It's not really New York, so I feel like Asuk's more Long Island boy. Fuck me, my boy. So hi, Charlie. Bill Garner says Riz. Oh yeah, the Rizzler. This was Asuk, amazing collection, one of one art, works, ton of OMI and VeVe logos. 100%. This was, bro, we need MC1 burns. We need all types of burns. Am I Ellie Goulding in 2007? Because at the lights turning down, like you gotta let it burn. Jason Pena 2000 saying hashtag sub 50. Yeah, there's a sub 50. All right, VeVe, what you doing here, girl? Why you teasing us? What is it? What does it all mean, Basil? I feel like it's like the Jigsaw murders where like, okay, as soon as he releases a victim, all the clues make sense. What does it all mean? I don't know. Don't know. Jason Pena 2000 saying Asuk, what up? Yeah, I have a ton of sub 50s. I think my most, it's not even that impressive, but for Cassie Lang, Stinger over on what's it called? The Ant-Man Marvel Mighties. I have 1/3 of the sub 100s for her because I love her. Jason Pena, Asuk, visitors with 550 viewers. Now on with Randy. Yep. You gotta love it. But I also very confused on what the collectibles mean, like what the teeth chattering memes. Stonekeeper, does this chattering animal speak for you? Certainly does not. I speak for myself. Such a good line. Or was I? This is Avengers Infinity War. Jason Payne saying, congrats, brother. You earned it. Asuk, he did. We need to meet in the city soon. I'd go back to New York City for a couple days. Motis says, "Lol, Randy and Mr. M1 acting like they don't know comic burning is coming." For which ones? For which ones though? Which ones? Who knows? SpongeBob, I knows. VeVe Wheels says, "Can we get Captain Planet?" I remember liking him back in the day. Kind of like Silver Surfer's gay brother, but I still liked him. It was cool. They call me Philly saying, "Just say XRP since 2018, and it did me right." Glad it did you right. You know what else is going to do you right? Probably some OMI and Definity. #burn stream. Oh, dude, that would be great. I can't wait to start burning stuff. As I should. Fantastic work. Okay. Oh my lordy, I got so much. More why simple but not easy. Oh Jesus, I can't do that. Mr. MC wants Randy. I have a gift for you. We'll ship you a physical copy of Spider-Boy 12. I saw it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. MC1. I love you. Doug Light says streamers from Twitch as a collectible. They have streamers on Fortnite. I guess it's possible. They would show it to their people. Like, hey guys, go buy me as a collectible over on X. We have David Yu and Dan Crothers and Eagle Eyes that are about to be collectibles on VeVe. Let's go over that real quick. When the lights turning down, they don't know what they heard. Like a match, play it loud, give it. Okay, here we go. We got, dude. Look at David and Dan. Look at them. Look at those sexy jawlines. Look at the hair. Oh my God. I'm sorry. David Yu, animated and with sound. What does it say? What does he say? Soon. I don't know. Only 888 of him, 20 doll hairs. Eagle Eyes over there. I feel like Hawk. We need that sound line from Hawk from what do you call it? Cobra Kai. 868 editions, $20. And then the Dan Crothers with a kendo stick? Is that whatever he has? 777 of him. And then there's a blue metallic David, animated in sound. There's only 88 blue metallic Davids. Do you know what people are going to do? The blue metallic Eagle Eyes. Do you know what they're going to do when we have them in our vaults? Do you know the dirty positions? You know the funny positions that we're going to put these guys in? 88 of Dan Crothers. When does this come out? December 7th. Okay, December 7th. Okay, Pearl Harbor Day. All right. David drop VeVe. Oh, that's the date of the. I have a call I need to do that day. That's the date of the worm attack over on TikTok as well. There's a giant worm attack that's going to happen on TikTok. It's a long story. It's been like 97 days coming. But yeah, I'd be very open to get Twitch streamers over on here. Would I buy any of them? Probably not. But the people that they'll bring over from their audience, they will. And the people that bring over from their audience are probably going to get a Spider-Man. They're probably going to get a bunch of other cool stuff. Yeah, bring them all. Mo Collection says, yep. This man says, I want a gigantic hair pick from Spaceballs. Hey, we ain't got it. We finished combing the desert? What? They're coming. We told them to comb the desert. They're combing the desert. Oh my God. That was such a, dude, the 80s had such good lines. They had such dad jokes, but I would love that as well. I got the bleeps, the creeps, and the sweeps. Space Gardener says, Spaceball is so good. Legend, dude. I've seen that movie like 12 times. Granted, I've been watching it since I was 12, so maybe once, maybe more than that. I don't know. I love that. Vespa, darling. Hey, Charlie Fisher, what's going on? Talk about you every now and then as well. Meow, meow. Mescal Miranda. Hi. 3-digit common comics. Those are gems, especially when you have 30 and 60,000 mint runs. 3 digits are very much gems. Very much gems. Who dis? Oh, Sanjay Chang. Mr. Emerson, what's up? Yeah, I get it. Like I've seen them before. There's something that you get. Like, is that going to be a drop on VeVe? So I thoroughly enjoy the what's that called? The teases and the market and stuff that VeVe's been doing. But I don't know if I would get excited about the chattering teeth. Something that you could have got. Is it nostalgic? Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is one of the prizes you could have got at Jillian's or Dave & Buster's 20 years ago, you know? And I don't know if that's something that I would just I hope they wouldn't waste their teases on something like this. Not that they have only a certain amount of teases they can do, but tease something like, dude, tease me anime, tease me like fucking make me work for it, like lie to me a little, like teasing that. I would be like, that's what you're teasing. You could have teased anything in the world, and you're teasing that. So I hope it's not that. I is it like a whole set of bathrooms? Like there's a banana, like a chew toy. There's the rubber duck, the actual rubber duck that you get in your bath. Is there going to be a water world in VeVe? Is there going to be an IP branded world? Like, is Chiquita having one of those things? They have a very dark history, Chiquita bananas. Is the rubber duck thing? Like, I don't know. And the chattering teeth, I don't know. Does chattering animals speak for you? Certainly not. I speak for myself. Silver Surfer's gay, but yeah, tired. Casey BMW says meow, 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 meow. Doughboy says when Speed Racer. I watched a little of that cart. Is that a Hanna-Barbera production? I don't even know. I watched a little of that when I was younger, but like barely any. I remember like the adults in my life would be like, they'd watch me watch Pokemon, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's Speed Racer." I was like, "This is Ash Ketchum." I was like, "No, it looks like Speed Racer." I was like, "Well, it's Ash Ketchum." Got very heated. Anyway, in like '08, I distinctly remember in '08 going to see Iron Man and Speed Racer in the same day. And I did not pay for the Speed Racer tickets. Because back in the day, before you had that assigned seating, you could just go to one movie, pay for that ticket, and then sneak into another theater, and sneak into another theater. And anyway, I see Speed Racer. First off, Christina Ricci, I will always have a crush on her forever, ever since what, Casper, I guess. Just she like awoken something in me the first time I saw her. Anyway, and then she's in there in Speed Racer, and I remember this one. I'm not gonna dignify her existence by giving her a name. We'll call her the no, Princess is too. No, we'll call her Patty. No, I love Patty. We'll call her Little Midget Girl, right? Little Midget Girl. I go and I say, she's like, "Hey, what'd you do this weekend?" I was like, "You know what? I saw Iron Man, I saw Speed Racer." And she's like, "Oh, my little brother, I took my little brother saw Speed Racer." Christina Ricci's like anorexic. I was like, "No, she's not. Like, she's skinny. Yeah, you know, she's definitely not fat, but she's not anorexic." Like, no, she's anorexic. It's a bad look for young girls. I was like, I mean, I can't speak for her blood work, but she seemed pretty healthy. And now, granted, this little midget girl was like, she was fat. I feel like she's always been fat. I feel like middle school was very rough for her. Anyway, it's like I thought women were supposed to build each other up, right? Right. Anyway, I love Christina Ricci. I love what's his name? Oh my God, what the heck is his name? He played Babe Ruth. He played what's his name on Roseanne. Let me type in. It's Jonathan Goodman. I love Jonathan Goodman, and he was just like the dad in Speed Racer. He was like a wrestling. It was just cool. Bill Gardner says, I remember watching Captain Planet back in the day. I feel like a lot of us did. Old Batmobile in so In the old Batmobile stuff, oh my God, in the old Batmobile stuff, I guess the chatterings thing is like Joker. We already have Joker. I don't know what the banana would mean. Maybe something that Harley Quinn would use for whatever. And then you obviously have the rubber duck. Batman villain that has rubber ducks. I don't know. But yeah, the chattering teeth could be something for the Joker. We already have a bunch of him, but the Jokers are cool. Call Me Please says, your Schwartz is as big as my Schwartz. But it says artifact is truly an artifact now. It do be an artifact now. We'll have a banana war. Does anyone remember in like the late 2000s when it's like, I'm saving myself for the great skeleton war? I feel like that was just such a major meme back in the day and just died out. Like shoving breadsticks in your purse, all that jazz. But it says, may the Schwartz mean with you. Ask Murder says, Riddler coming to the VeVe the teeth. Is that the Riddler? I thought that was Joker. Because I think in the fight in Batman 89, he like drops the chattering teeth. But yeah, I guess it could be Riddler. That'd be cool. Yeah, we don't have Riddler. I remember when Johnny Depp was favored to be the Riddler, and I remember Johnny Depp going like, well, I'd certainly juggle the idea. And then he never did. He never did. It was Batmobile. Didn't Dan or David post it? Oh, that was like one of the first things that they teased like years ago. Still don't have it yet. Batman Forever would be dope. That'd be cool. I'd be hip with that. Oh lordy, what is that? Nature is metal sometimes. In Batman games? Oh, maybe in the Batman games. Maybe the Batman games or something like that. How can people? I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. All right, let's go over some crypto here, shall we? Let's shall. Hour 30 into my stream, but we've done this before. All right, Bitcoin at over 95K, down 2% today though. XRP still at 15, almost 16% at $2.72. Solana down 4.5%. Dogecoin down 8. Cardano up 10. Avalanche up 12%. All right, let's go back to the stuff that I really like. Where's the flow? At $1.13. Get that bread. Oh my God, touch the sky. Get it, flow. Get it. So here's what I really don't get. So flow, number 83 at $1.13, right? But then you go and you take a look at, and that was on CoinGecko, right? But then you take a look at Coin Market Cap, $12, whatever, and it says number 71, and it's like, who's right? Who's right? We don't know. I don't know. Is it 71 or 83? Your guess is as good as mine. Let's go to the OMI here. It's wild that we had $1 million in OMI in volume for OMI. 996,000 now. Easy come, easy go, but still. Thought that was interesting. After that, let's go towards a couple other things here. Let me go on the VeVe app. Go to my let's see what partner statue is doing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. 88 in the market, probably like 1,500, I would say, for partners. Let's see what it's at. 1475. So it had reached up to like 17, almost 8. It was down to like 1,100 at one point, reached back up 1718, back down to 1475. Does that get bought up? We're not sure. My Verizon bill is online. Thank you very much. VeVe Digital Collectibles. All right, so VeVe Comics saying this week, Marvel same day as print releases this week's feature X-Men number 8, Wolverine number 4, Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 27, Deadpool Wolverine, Weapon X Traction number 1. These are scarce limited edition covers. VeVe Digital Collectibles. Which ones will you be going for? I don't know. It remains to be seen. Anything but Arnold. Dude, Arnold as Freeze was so good. Like, so obviously, after Batman 89, things got silly. But that's all right. So in a Batman perspective, yeah, that's one of the worst Batman movies like ever made. But from like a kid nostalgia, I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like, what was it? The worst Batman movie ever? Probably, yeah. But I don't know. Like, you gave him Batman nipples, like in the suit. You gave him a Batman credit card. Like, I never leave home without it. Like, that reminds me of the Lisa Turtle credit card. Zach Morris like, Lisa Turtle credit card. You never leave home with it. That was like the worst joke ever. But anyway, Batman's like, never leave home without it. Like, these are like the worst decisions that you could ever make. But I don't know, what lines do you like remember? Like, oh, did the dinosaurs die? The Ice Age, like that. I don't know. Some of those things were so memorable, and I still laugh and I smile when I hear them or I think of them. Do I think of them that often? No, but it's some of those things are just I don't know. I would get it. I would get Arnold Schwarzenegger as Freeze. One, for how ridiculous it is. Two, he just it's a good movie. It's not a good movie. It's just I would pay money for it. Now, that's just one of the most memorable freezes, just because that was there. Now, you also had the freeze in Batman the Animated Series. That was really good. That was really deep. Really enjoyed that. Really sad story. Just like, oh God, yeah, really feel for that character. Really feel for it. Really, really feel. Anyway, let's go to the rest of the app here. Let's take a look at Miles Morales. These loading times, I'm not a fan of. But all right, we'll go to collectibles. And take a look at the Miles Seeker, where there's 19 of them. Very strange, like 20% of them. So 8K. And then let's take a look at the Peter Parker Spider-Man. These load times are ridiculous. It's been like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. I'm about to give up. Okay, there we go. And then we'll just focus on the collectibles. And when we do that, we should see all right, so all these Marvel Mighty stuff are like in my way here. There's Ben Riley. Ben Riley is really cool. I think Rudy Garcia just got that as well. There's the ultra rare. All right, secret rare. 27 in the market. So 26, 27, 28% of those are, and it's at $44.99. So yeah, Miles Morales is no longer double the price of that. Let's see what else. Let's try the VeVe gold and silver logo. Right? No, Randy. I like it. I like it. You can't at me, girl. Let's see the VeVe gold and silver, or the gold ticket. $395. I cringe whenever I think of people like, no, don't sell it, Randy. When I could have sold it for like $900, and now it's like $395. It's like, chill out. So good. The logo version 2. I don't know what that is. Okay, come on. Well, I know what that is, obviously, but I just don't know the price of that. All right, VeVe gold silver logo, 20 in the market. We are at $54.99 for the cheapest one. Chavez, are you into rap? Easy E, Too Short, Easy E, Ice Cube, the OCs, Snoop, Neo, Double G's, and the group that said "Fuck the police." Yeah. It depends. I like stuff from the '90s and early 2000s. Some stuff from the '80s as well. Like a '90s 2000s kid, like Eminem kind of got me into it. And then from that, then it's 50 Cent, and then obviously, okay, who produced them? And then it's Dre, and then you go down the rabbit hole. Remember Sucker Free Sunday on like MTV2? Yo, it's Sucker Free Sunday. That was just fun. But yeah, some rap. I mean, there's some rap nowadays that it's just, oh my God, it's still really good. But I kind of miss like the rap where they like talk at you, and they just like some of it was just it was good. But I'm not gonna lie, some of the bars that people drop now are just like, oh my God, this is so incredible what people can do with the English language. And Eminem still drops fire like every year. How much time do you think we have before OMI makes its move? Stressing to get my goal. It takes about 4 more months for me. You could have 4 more months go by, and that NFT narrative doesn't hit. And when I say that narrative, that like NFT mania, and we could not have that NFT mania for another 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. We don't know. I would say once you have a whiff of that, I understand not buying down here, because if you buy down here at 00033, right, and Bit4X releases another tranche of like 2 billion OMI, and we still don't have exchanges, Stacker isn't rolled out yet, they're not doing marketing yet, you could potentially see that OMI go down, like, and get maybe not cut in half, but you could see it go down another 30%. and get to the mid, 0002s. And it's like, okay, well, Chavez, I don't want to put 10 grand in just to lose 3 grand right away, and I get that. But that's just a potential scenario that could happen. Now, on the opposite end of that, you could have something. The NFT market is heating up, and right now you've seen it in flow, and the metaverse market as well. You've seen a bunch of these NFT projects. You've seen certain NFTs just on VeVe rise as well. But you've seen it in NFT projects, seen it in metaverse project. The tokens associated with them go nuts. They go crazy. OMI is extremely undervalued, in my opinion, and it's not going to take much for us to do like a 5x from here, and you're at like 0018, 17. So, but I would also say that if we do a 5x from here, and we're still under 002, and I get a windfall of $1 million, I'll still buy OMI at that price. So I understand that, hey, not wanting to buy down here because of that, and then also, do I have time? I don't know when we take off. We any number of things could pump us up 3x, getting us, and the 3x we get back to 001. That's still a bargain, in my opinion. Would you rather spend $10,000 down here as opposed to over there? Yeah, absolutely. But it's like when Luke Baines changed his toast from $1 to $1.10, and Kirk is like, I don't know, Luke, it's a 10% increase. Like, it's still a bargain, Kirk. I understand being stressful about it and stressing. 4 months from now, though, again, we might not move for several months, but 4 months is a long time in crypto. That is, I mean, 1 month is a long time. 1 month ago from today, people were worried that Bitcoin could go to like 48,000 if Kamala got elected. And then Trump got elected, and all of October was squished into the last few weeks of November. It's been crazy. Illuvium's done a doubling. Devi's done like a tripling. Flow has done a doubling. And those have like, $1 billion market caps. Well, Devi does not. Devi has like a $40 million. It's very low. But what happens to OMI that's stupid undervalued at this market cap? So I don't know when the right time is going to buy. Give me $1 million. I'll buy some. I'll buy a bunch right now. But the moves are going to be violent. And maybe you have a violent uptick and then a violent downtick, but the moves are going to be pretty violent. Abe says, give me an absolute hopium price prediction for. All right, so Abe, you might not have been here before. I think that in the next 12 months, let's say we have the blow off top for Bitcoin, dude. Before this week, before this last week, I would have said, if everybody's saying $150,000 to $250,000 Bitcoin, then maybe we only get to like 135, right? And if people are saying it happens in Q3 next year, maybe it happens in Q1, Q2 next year. And that at 130, 135, if I had Bitcoin, I would take profit there and I'd roll it in to whatever. But that doesn't seem to be the case. That guy, Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, had never given a Bitcoin price prediction before, right? But he did a few days ago. Now, maybe I was wrong, but I don't think he's ever given a Bitcoin price prediction up until that time. And his price prediction, which again, he's not just this random like YouTuber, he's not this random person. Like, if you're like the head of Cardano, like, what the heck you're talking about. And when he says a token that's not his own, that's Bitcoin, can reach between 250,000 and 500,000 in the next 2 years, we've never had a super cycle. And up until this point, up until it happens, it's purely theoretical. And the theory behind it is that, okay, well, how could it happen? Well, you have to start from first principles and say, like, okay, what's going to happen in the macro that could make that happen, that could make that possible? Well, you would have to have like an insane bull run. What needs to happen for that bull run to happen in stocks? Well, you would need to have rates be cut. We were supposed to get 7 rate cuts this year. We've got like 2. What happens when we get 4 or 5 rate cuts next year and there's a market melt up and you have like $3 or $4 trillion just crush and rip into the market. Okay, like 10% of that goes crypto, maybe. And when that happens, that's what is it, like $300 billion go in one go. And I'm not saying it goes in one go. Maybe that takes a couple of, but retail's not in yet. That's just from money markets, money makers on the side. Retail is not in yet, as evidenced by my dissertation on Facebook before, and having that speaking to 122,000 people. Some retail is curious. Some retail is in the middle. They don't feel about it one way or the other. But a lot of people are still like, ew, crypto, ew, NFTs, that's a scam. If you get that major market melt up and you have trillions rip into that market, and then 10% of that goes into Bitcoin, yeah, that super cycle is possible. And then retail gets in. I think Charles Hoskinson might actually be a little conservative if that golden goose scenario happens. Maybe you get up to 600,000. Maybe you get up higher. I know these numbers are insane, but what happens to the rest of crypto? What happens to the top 100 when people take profit from that and they go in? You could have a price point of any token be $10 billion market cap and it not be in the top 100. You could have tokens that are like so for Definity could do a 1000x, get to a $7 billion market cap and not be close to the top 100. So that's a pretty bullish price prediction, I think. You could have double that. You could have Definity do a 2000x and maybe get into the top 100. Planet Vampires, Ice-T's metal band body count puts on a killer show. I'm sure. Greg White, who was on the podcast recently, he is good friends with Ice-T's wife. She's a character in one of his stories, so that was cool. Dirk Live says, most NFT in OpenSea I've seen has doubled in the last week. There's a lot. Shout out to the 600 people that are here. Gotta love them. And again, this is just the beginning. The NFT narrative isn't back. ETH hasn't run. ETH is not, like, if ETH was at all-time highs, I'd be like, yeah, all right, this makes sense. It's not. Retail's not in. This is very, very early in the bull market still. Dirk Live said, I'd rather not risk saving my money for a lower amount. 00025, but 00035 is such a good number for me because I was okay putting 10K at 0006. I will be more than okay at this level. I would as well. I definitely would as well also. Do you like to see more or less? Not lying. I worked in financial advisor for a year, seen multiple young people with $1 million plus off crypto alone. Yeah, oh, I like this girl. Anyway, will you ever own a full Bitcoin? I have in the past. Will I again in the future? Sure. It'll be after the blow off top. It'll maybe if we don't have a super cycle in 2 years or 3 years, I'll buy Bitcoin when it goes back down to 60,000. Whatever. I mean, it depends what it gets to. If it gets to $500,000, it's never going to go back down to 60,000. But if it only gets to, let's say, like 150, can that take can it go back down to 75? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll buy a bunch then. Or at the same time, like there's places that you can custody your Bitcoin with. They'll borrow against it. They'll use that for loans, and then you don't have to sell your Bitcoin. So I could buy a bunch. They could borrow against it, and then they could give me, funds for what the work that they're doing, just based off my Bitcoin. So yeah, I'll probably own Bitcoin in a couple. But again, 2 years. But if we have a super cycle, we might not have a downturn for several more years. So it depends. Do you think we have a short bull run or a long one? I mean, I hope a long one. But who knows? I do believe that Trump and the Department of Government, I do believe that this is the best time for America. And I'm gonna probably lose some viewers. I'm probably gonna have some people be like, "Oh no, this is trash." Sorry, I had to get the photo. If you're running the country, there'll be two types of people that want to run the country. There'll be one person that wants to look the best, in which case they'll surround themselves with people that are far less capable than they are. And then there's people that want the best for the country. They don't care how they look, and they'll surround themselves with the best people possible, like a Harvard-trained lawyer, like the smartest engineer this world has ever seen, like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, the Department of Government Efficiency, then you have people that they're surrounding yourself with the Fellowship of the Ring, with someone that is looking to view this like a quest. And I believe that if they do their jobs correctly, and there's no reason to think that they won't, I think that the odds for a super cycle are pretty likely, even if it's not, the odds of a very long bull run are very possible, in my opinion. Does Definity has any exchange plans or marketing plans? Yeah, absolutely. They're already on MEXC, but yeah, more exchanges will be planned for in 2025. Metaverse says, Randy, I spent $30 on Fortnite for a Juice WRLD skin. We need music on VeVe. Music on VeVe is in the works. That's all I can say. When's Superman NFT 5K? Late next year. Say late next year. How long a bull runs normally? It depends. Could be 2 years. I mean, you can make the argument that we've been in a bull run for the past year, in which case we have another year left. But who knows? This one could be a couple more years. Bears around 3 years, right? It depends. Again, I know it didn't feel like a bull run last year, but when you got Bitcoin at 14K and then it went to like 70K before the halving, that was a bull run. And then we had the dip, and then we're coming back strong. OMC Burger Pan says Trump 2024 for the win. I think he will do I think he'll do very good job. Disclosure Crypto says, hey buddy, meow meow meow. Could look at Gari Network. Yeah, I could take a look at that. Let's see what it is. See what we got here. GARI. Okay, so Gari Network is number 1909. Down about 10% on the day. It's not a great day for it unless you're looking to stack. 1.3 cents. Let's look at, before I get into anything. Okay, so at one point, this is at like 89 cents. But that was like 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Came out in January of 2022. Let's take a look. There's 300,000 in trading volume, so there are people that are interested. There are people that are doing that. $13 million fully diluted market cap. I don't know what this does, but that's interesting. And they have 186,000 followers on Twitter. All right, that doesn't make sense with the market cap that they have. So let's see if they're actual followers or not. Well, their pinned thing from their pinned post from 6 days ago only got 2,600 impressions. That's not a lot. Let's see some other. They're just really retweeting a lot of stuff. They're not okay. From 4 days ago, Black Friday token hunt begins. 1,300 impressions, and so this is the followers are not engaging at all. I get more traction on that, but that doesn't mean that they're not. Okay, Chingari, largest Web3 social app, 21,000 followers. That doesn't mean that they're not doing some awesome stuff here. Let's take a look at. So that was their Twitter. Let's look at their Instagram. 112,000 followers, and their last post, 11 hours, got 3 likes. Last post 15 hours ago got 14 likes. So again, you have a nice amount of followers on there, but it's just not. They're not engaging. You can get them on KuCoin, Kraken, MEXC, Radium, Gate.io, LA Token, Orca. I mean, you can get these on like 30 different exchanges. So they're on a good amount. They're on a good amount of exchanges. Like 20, like you can get on 20, 22, 23 exchanges. So that is impressive. I don't know what they do though. Let me go back to their Twitter real quick. Web3 powered social community. Download the app Chingari. Contribute, entertain, earn the Gari network. Download the app and start earning. It's interesting. I'm curious. You have my attention. So let me take a picture of that, and I'll go in and I'll take a look at it on other stuff as well. Let me go and take a share copy. Am I? Hold on, guys. Can you guys hear me or see me? Because I don't think. Okay, there we go. You can. Let me do something here real quick, and then I'll get back to this. Mango, Joe Mangus. All right, hold on. Oh, what is this? Come raid 600 people. Yeah. Where's the cat token here? And let me paste that. Come raid 600 people. Okay. Mass murders. Dude, UFO invasion. I have heard that from so many different places today. All right. You want to know where this started? This started from a kid on TikTok. Like, you guys know, like, hey, laser pointer. Oh. But did you know the super powerful laser pointers that's like illegal to like shine at planes? They can pop balloons. They go for like blocks, right? Right? Okay. There was a UFO in the sky. This kid with one of those super crazy strong laser pointers started going, and then it moved, and they go, and then it moved, and it was going these crazy different directions. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Why is he doing that? The alien wars are starting. And then multiple people started on the TikTok. There's an alien UFO war that's going to start tomorrow. I don't know, bro. I don't know. What price points do you think OMI will have trouble passing? I'd say 001 is going to be a little bit of a barrier, and then maybe 003, 005, 008, 007, 008. That was like a big resistance level last time. Then obviously a penny, then all-time highs of 1.3, and then every cent there's going to be some resistance. But we could just blow through the first few pretty easily. It's a streaming platform on Solana, so I'm a little curious. Well, I mean, I had but like I said, it seems to be that they have I'm curious. They have a couple of decent things. They're less trouble passing 00. Yeah, that was the resistance last time. So I think that makes sense as well. Salute, Randy. Hope you're well. First question: what did you eat today? I had leftover pizza in the morning, and then my friend made tacos, so I had tacos. And that was it. Listen, I have to slowly transition in. Well, it was made for me. This decision was. There's a scene in Eddie Guerrero. It wasn't even a scene. It was him and Rey Mysterio are doing commentary on the Halloween Havoc match they had in like '97, and he said, like, I've slowed down really more because I wanted to, not because I needed to. He's talking about how he was after that. I had to stop working out, not because I wanted to, but my back finally gave out from car crashes to military to private investigating. I destroyed my body, and it finally went kaput. So if I'm not working out and I can't justify eating 3,000 calories, unfortunately, I've had to really cut the calories. So I know leftover pizza and tacos don't sound like much. They're not, but I'm not burning any calories. I'm kind of hecked over here. But do you think the possibility of OMI reaching 25 cents at the top? No, it sounds crazy, but just a thought. Okay, well, let's see. A dollar is $350 billion market cap, or no, sorry, $300 billion market cap. So 50 cents would be $150 billion market cap. $75 billion market cap for 25 cents, $75 billion market cap. It is certainly possible. Is it likely? No. I would put it at under 5%. I would put it at 5% chance and under that we would reach 25 cents. That's my opinion. 5% chance and under that we reach 25 cents, because it is not likely. But can we do it? Yeah. Should we do it? No. But is it possible? Yes. Flippy love VeVe says, like, hi Randy. Oh, meow 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 Flippy. Meow 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 meow. So that was just, yes we can. I remember that being such a big thing in like 07, 08, like, yes we can. The cat token says, hello everyone. Alien wars, what did I miss? Oh, just the whole, yeah. Apparently there's gonna be UFO wars tomorrow, December 3rd. Oh, what is this? We got All right, not bad. Not bad, Definity. You get that bread. You get your thing. Get your thing, girl. Girl. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Ain't there something else you're searching for? Almost Human with AI is now following me. Just some dude trying to make sense of life. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. YouTube channel under the name Almost Human with AI. No DMs on my account. Thanks. Okie dokie. Mass Murder says there's an AI that said that in '97. Really? Why is it coming up now? Why is it coming up now that there's a great UFO war that is going to be happening? I didn't want this. Oh wow, mystery artist reveal coming for the Cat movie. Epic. Yeah, so the Cat movie, obviously I don't really have much to do with the Cat movie. I have a I'm obviously writing the Cat comic, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty heckin' awesome. It's pretty heckin' awesome. What's up, the new phone app? Seems like 2 years step backwards. Yeah, fair point. Fair point. Let's see what we got here. The Cat Token says, for those fans of the biggest franchise in the world, our soon-to-reveal mystery artists work for Marvel, DC, and Game of Thrones. The Cat's doing a lot of crazy things. And even though all of them could work, you really only need one of them to be a success. Again, when you go and you have VeVe Comics in their curator program, and then when that curator program says anyone with a comic can go on, the first comic is mostly already written. I have plans for like the next 9 comics, and the characters are really cool. It's like there are 3 characters that people are going to fall in love with, and there's more. I have so much more planned, and there's a lot of things that we could do. And again, if those comics do really well, then maybe you get a chance of having a VeVe drop, not just being on VeVe Comics on the app in that way, but maybe that as well. So, let's see. Mr. M says, my cousin has been inducted into the Grammys as a voting member and is going to the Grammys in 2025. Hey, ho. Wonder if I should sponsor him and have him wear VeVe gold and silver logo jacket and hat and merch. 100%. 100%. What does sponsor him? So it's a boy, it's a man. I was gonna say I could go as his date. I will go as his date. I will help you bear this burden, Frodo Baggins, as long as it's yours to bear. I will bear that. I will go as his date, and that'll be very modern and progressive, and I will be there with him in that VeVe stuff. I know obviously I can't do that, but that would be fantastic. When VeVe Grammys, when VeVe Awards, when all of that. Anyway, the Cat community sends a post. Oh yeah, life goes on. Sorry. Oh God, I'm way behind on this group chat here. 200. I don't know. People are saying like $200 for the secret rare. I think it'll be more. For the amount of work you had to freaking do to get this thing, it's better be like 300. How many ultra bears are we gonna want to burn? I mean, I think it's just gonna be 1 per person because there's not a lot of secret rares. Trying to get five rares. Oh, you have 5 rares? Why are you doing that? Oh my God, friends, 4.3 million master collector points. That's insane. In public editions, 212 secret rare floor. Nope. First appearance Punisher. Definitely got to go above 212. Oh God, secret rare floor. Ultra rare will be very telling tomorrow. Half will be. Oh no, everything will be minted tomorrow. It's gonna mint out tomorrow, guaranteed. Haha, +1. Yes. Just realized only 3. Yep. Bada bing. Out of 2,500. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a major race. Major race tomorrow. I have a lot of stuff to go on here. Oh, they took away my stuff. All right. Anyway, let's go on and continue on the VeVe app. We left off with the gold and silver logo. Let's do Todd Batman and see where he's at. VeVe Magic is over in the space. I gotta. Oh wow, I've been going 2 hours. All right. Well, shout out to the 627 people that are here. We will end soon, but not until we go over the Todd Batman. And we go and we take a look. It's 494 gems. 494. Count them, 2 marshmallows. After we do that, let's take a look at the reso. What are we thinking? 1,100? 1,100? 1,000? All right, reso, ultra rare. I clicked on it and it took me back to the top. Oh no, oh, it's 900. Okay. Would you rather have 2 Todds or 1 Reso? I'm not gonna lie, I take the Reso. But that's just me. Still the same old G, but a bit low key. Should we go onto VeVe Magic Space and see what she's doing over there? Oh, it's emoji. It says I got to figure out a title for these. It's a chill space. Let's start listening, shall we? Let's rate it, shall we?
Yo, it's close. It's close. It's
talking about the West Coast. I wonder if they know that 630 people are watching them right now. Anyway, that was fun. Let's bounce, and then like I said, I've been here for 2 hours, so I'm gonna leave that space. I'm gonna leave here. If y'all want to go over to the VeVe Magic Space, you can. I might show up, I might not. Leave you on the edge of your seat. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye, Dashi. I love you, Dashi. Thank you for the 634 people that are here. All right, bye. Don't you need somebody to love you?